Bless up, ABR family. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Isabel Rose. Welcome back to another live. It's a beautiful Tuesday where I'm at. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Check in one and all to the live. As when you come in on the live, please to like and share out this live. Some interesting development as it pertains to government members writing to the Integrity Commission to lodge a report or complaint on the new Director of Corruptions Prosecution assigned acting in the Integrity Commission. Big up yourself, Anthony R. Big up to all moderators. Big up to my members, Angela and Yvonne Wallace, Sispat W, Vian Miller. Welcome one and all to the live. So the Integrity Commission chairperson has written back to them, and the time frame in which they wrote that letter to her making complaint on Mr. Ronif Lawrence, stating that Dayton Campbell had been very good friends with him over some 20 odd years, and Dayton did make that clear at one point on his social media platform. So that is what we're seeing them running with. And the Integrity Commission's chairwoman wrote back to them in space of 3 days. So when I told you before that I love to give people their fair shot, and it matters not if this lady here who goes by the name of Carol Lawrence Beswick wants to be on a political side. When you're in certain position, justice has to be blind, and you cannot let party ruin your reputation. And so far, I am seeing that this lady is very, very true to her words based on her pronouncement that they're on a mission to get a corruption-free Jamaica. And so I will let y'all hear what the response from the Integrity Commission via this letter from the government, Edmund Bartlett and Kamina Johnson Smith. But before me get into all of that, so them shouldn't even tread down this path, wanting any person, any qualified person to be, removed without having sufficient evidence as to why the person should be removed. They don't have any other information on this man other than to say he's a good friend of Dayton Campbell. Everybody not have friends? Everybody have friends. Even this very same IC chairperson have friends. We have a DPP, must have friends from both sides of the aisle, but that shouldn't stop them from working in such a critical capacity without fear or favor. But as I stated, we're going to make this video solely about the Integrity Commission and a whole heap of things here so to unpack. I'm going to bring you now down memory lane a bit. Sometime last year, when we seen the former chairman sat in our parliament and basically make the parliamentarians them know what the Integrity Commission is about. But as I stated, before me get into the meat of the matter, I've seen Usain Bolt putting out a post yesterday, and it says time. And we have known Usain Bolt to be one who puts out cryptic messages, and you have to definitely read between the lines. So we know the whole SSL saga where he was defrauded of some $2.5 billion. And we heard of recent the trustee, the liquidator for SSL, who goes by the name of Kadian Campbell, letting us know that they have some 500,000 US dollars as compensatory funds to give back to some of the investors. Now, I made it clear back then that he was basically speaking on an interview with Simon Crosskill, and he let us know that is the persons who were defrauded by Gene and Panton were gonna get back some funds from that. So he have approximately 78 million Jamaican dollars, and we know of one lady who was defrauded of 60 million. So that is a drop in the bucket, and that can go not to a great length, but he says that it's looking grim as to how they will recoup. He didn't give out too much as to where or how he came by that $78 million. But I had let y'all guys know that Usain Bolt, according to what I read at one point, says that Gene and Panton wasn't aware that Usain Bolt was an investor there and that she did not touch Usain Bolt's money. Nevertheless, Usain Bolt has nothing to get from that $78 million. And so, hence we seen this cryptic message here by Usain Bolt. And it says time. And if you can look in the ceiling right there, so that's an orange stone right there, hanging from the ceiling of where he is. And it's definitely more than time that they give the investors, not only Usain Bolt, they give all the investors some concrete information as to what's gonna happen with their money that was stolen. Wanna see it there, so? Some time ago we seen him in a full suit of orange. And we don't really want to play no whole heap of politics in all of this. But if nothing is taking place under this government, time come where we heard Mark Golding said that he will have a commissioner of inquiry as to what took place in SSL and where the people and funds have been stolen and sent to or used, right? So we need that inquiry, and Mark Golding has basically, put that out there in the air to say that when he takes office under the leadership of a Mark Jefferson Golding, we will have the Kroll report and we will have the SSL report, so we can all know what took place there. Because of be a cover-up, be hiding, we have a DPP that is dragging her feet, and the list goes on and on. We know right now that Usain Bolt is grieving the loss of his father, and we're still sending out the heartiest of condolences to the entire Bolt family and friends of the Bolt family. Now, we're getting into the meat of the matter. Should I also let you guys know that yesterday was some debate between the People's National Party representative and the Jamaica Labour Party representative, to which we see in Faval had pulled out of that debate. And the people are praising Dayton for how we handled questions in that debate. And I have just a small clipping. I will bring more information on this at a later time. But we're dealing with the IC responding to parliamentarians of, queries that they're having to the new Director of Corruption Prosecution. But when you get a piece of what Dayton, outlined last night.
Only 18%, less than 1 in every 5 child would take the CSAT exam, pass so just include maths and English, they want to change. We have a food importation data that has moved from 834 million US dollars to 1.4 billion, a 70% increase, they want to change. This government, after 2 terms in office, is now saying choose Jamaica. We don't have to choose Jamaica, we're born in Jamaica, we're born here.
Go back.
So we know that Dayton Campbell would have done well in that debate. And for some strange reason, I'm not sure why Favour or Finance Minister had pulled out of that debate. Now back to the meat of the matter, or the main points of this live. As I stated before, we have a new Director of Corruption Prosecution. We learned prior to all of this that the former Director of Corruption Prosecution, who goes by the name of Kamika Prince, was specifically told not to reapply when her tenure would have been up. And here on the screen is Mr. Ranif Lawrence, our new acting Director of Corruption Prosecution assigned to the Integrity Commission. Now, letters were sent to the chairperson or the board of chairpersons at the Integrity Commission on, I believe, April 11th. And we've seen the Integrity Commission with a response within 3 days of getting that letter. And this says the Integrity Commission responds to letter dated April 11, 2025 from government leaders in the Houses of Parliament. The Integrity Commission wishes to inform the public that it has formally responded to a letter dated the 11th and signed by Ed Bartlett and the leader of government business in the House of Representatives, and by Senator Mrs. Kamina Johnson-Smith, leader of government business in the Senate. And so it's a 3-page response from the Integrity Commission. And if time allows, I would like to read out most of it, if not all. When you comment in the comment section and let me know if you don't want me to read out all of this so you can have a greater understanding. It's 3 pages. And I would love to read all of it so that y'all can get a great understanding of the response, because it's apparent that they raise concern about the new director, but the concern that they're raising is one of trivial, it no hold no weight, so to speak. And we see in the chairperson, Miss Carol Lawrence Beswick, basically using the law to let the parliamentarians know, because apparently, time and time again I've said it, they have basically, sat and they draft up laws to govern the country. But I'm wondering if they don't read or if they don't understand the very laws that they are a part of implementing. It makes no sense that when them open their mouth, they have to be reminded of the law. And so we're seeing the chairwoman of the Integrity Commission basically schooling them at this point in time. And so it reads, Dear House and Senate government leaders, response to letter dated April 2025 from government leaders in the Houses of Parliament, I acknowledge receipt of your email and letter to me dated April 11, 2025, in which you indicate particular and serious concerns held by your government colleagues and in which you request my urgent intervention for a prompt and thorough interrogation of the concerns which you detail. I am certainly amenable to addressing the concerns which you have sent for Integrity Commission's attention insofar as the Integrity Commission Act allows. In short, the concern the perceived, alleged, and or actual bias of Commission's Acting Director of Corruption Prosecution, Ronif Lawrence, and the alleged unacceptable pressure being allegedly exerted on certain Commission staff members to cause certain decisions to be made. I am heartened by the fact that we share a belief in certain principles which you have embraced in your communication and which I regard as being fundamental to any interrogation by the Commission. These important principles were well expressed by you and I adopt them, namely, 1. We do not for a moment question Mr. Lawrence's professional qualifications. So what is the issue there? So if you're not questioning his qualification, if the man is qualified for the post, him having friends or affiliates from whether political aisle shouldn't prevent him from acting in this post without fear or favor. Number 2 that they raise, she said, we do not question any individual's constitutional right of association. 3, nor do we seek to interfere in the operations of the Commission. 4, justice should not only be done but should be seen to be manifestly and demonstrably done. 5, the Integrity Commission's success depends greatly on public confidence and trust, which cannot be sustained if there is a perception of bias or other improper conduct of its affairs. 6, fairness, professionalism, and justice are to be allowed to prevail at the Integrity Commission and to be seen to so prevail. 7, we trust that truth and justice will prevail. We are therefore agreed that any such interrogation would have to be conducted as fairly, impartially, and transparently as is possible. Justice would no doubt have to be done, not only in the eyes of the parliamentarians, but also in the eyes of the persons against whom complaint or allegation is being made. A primary component of a carefully conducted interrogation is relevant, cogent evidence. The first concern to which you refer in the communication regarding Mr. Ronif Lawrence's appointment as Acting Director of Corruption Prosecution at the Integrity Commission and his possible permanent appointment to the post, you provide that one basis for that concern is a social media post on January 26 this year by Dr. Dayton Campbell, which is being widely circulated and describing Mr. Lawrence as his friend or for over 20 years. You conclude, based on your belief in the accuracy of that social media post, that any decision taken by Mr. Lawrence in respect of members of the political fraternity will certainly be open to question. In view of the fact that we agree that we do not question any individual's constitutional right of association, any question about his decision making and or suitability for filling that appointment must therefore be considered with that right in mind. Indeed, any decision taken by the Commission should be open to be questioned by the public, including political parties, as to the manner in and the basis on which the decision was taken. A complete answer should be provided as far as the Integrity Commission Act allows. No doubt, your parliamentary colleagues will recall that it was your good selves who placed certain restriction on what can lawfully be revealed by the Commission. There you go. There you go. Giagada. So the lady is reminding her, is reminding them that it is their good. Let me read that part again. Let me see if I can find that part again. Indeed, any decision taken by the Commission should be open to be questioned by the public, including political parties. As to the manner in and the basis on which the decision was taken, a complete answer should be provided as far as the Integrity Commission Act allows. No doubt, your parliamentary colleagues will recall that it was your good selves who placed certain restrictions on what can lawfully be revealed by the Commission, stating at Section 56 of the Integrity Commission Act that a person concerned in the administration of this Act shall regard and deal with as secret and confidential. Mighty God. All information, statutory declaration, government contracts, prescribed licenses, and all other matters relating to any matter before the Commission. Them forgot, see, and them do that? The Commission is mindful of the fact that its decisions are open to scrutiny and thus operates under the policy that any conflicts of interest are declared, and whether they exist, the employee recuses himself, him or herself, and thereafter has nothing to do with that particular matter. Another basis for your concern about Mr. Lawrence's appointment to the post in question rests on what you describe as public record, that in late 2024, Dr. Campbell used a political platform to make particular comments about a case which it subsequently came to public attention was being considered for pursuit by the Integrity Commission. No doubt you will readily understand that your description above lacks sufficient details to allow me to determine of what you speak. So it is not even clear of what they were making, reference about Dayton Campbell speaking on a political platform about something relating to Integrity Commission. I note your next concern is about media reports which suggest that the conflict of former Director of Corruption Prosecution was renewed in the circumstances where she came under pressure to not seek renewal of her contract due to a lawful decision she made. Again, there is no reference to the particular decision that has caused your concern. The question you wish to be interrogated are specified as being whether the former corruption prosecution director in fact came under pressure due to her lawful decision, from whence did that pressure emanate, and the extent to which that alleged pressure may have contributed to her not seeking renewal in the post despite her being widely known to be of excellent repute in the conduct of her professional to date. It is clear that the answers to these required the input of the former corruption prosecution director herself, whose 5-year statutory term of office with the commission has already ended. My attention has not been brought to any complaint or even comment made by her either to the commission or to any other entity concerning the questions you asked to be interrogated. In order for there to be a fair, impartial, transparent interrogation, there not only needs to be the specific questions which you have in fact posed, but equally importantly, there must be specific cogent information from which the interrogation can be commenced. So they want her to interrogate something that they are not even clear what they're asking. It is not clear what they're asking. And for the final page, it's not too long. She said, I also note your deep concern about widely circulated reports in both traditional and social media which suggest that a senior investigator resigned from the commission after a statement she had submitted in the commission was excluded from a report submitted by the commission to the Parliament of Jamaica due to the intervention of an influential official at the commission. You say further that the report suggests that the formal statement submitted by the investigator had raised concerns about unethical practices during the conduct of a certain probe of high public interest. Here again, you suggest that this matter be the subject of inquiry by the commission, or should greater independence be required in the interest of justice. They said, unfortunately, this concern, as outlined in your communication, is bereft of sufficient details to adequately inform an inquiry. The urgent intervention which you seek for a prompt and thorough interrogation of the mentioned matters can only be fairly done with cogent, specific information. At the same time, I know that I need not remind you of Section 6 of the Integrity Commission Act, which provides in part as follows: in the exercise of its powers and performance of its functions under this act, the Commission shall not be subject to the direction of or control of any other person or authority other than the court by way of judicial review. So there we have it there. So I'm not going to finish all of it, but y'all heard right there the Integrity Commission chairperson is letting them know that they take no orders from no parliamentarians other than the court. And y'all remember sometime last year, I believe, when Everald Warmington stood up in our parliament and I behave like him darker than the rest because he's seeing the Integrity Commission came to our parliament, and him proceeded to say the Integrity Commission should be audited because they're getting how much money per year. When in fact every year the Integrity Commission is audited, and attached is that information on all of their annual reports. And so in response to that, we see the former chairman, Seymour Panton, basically putting out a response to what Warmington had said. I mean, I'm going to hear it right now.
The Integrity Commission saying that they are concerned that there are parliamentarians who continue to exhibit a clear lack of knowledge or understanding of the very laws that they are elected to write.
Let me run that again.
The Integrity Commission saying that they are concerned that there are parliamentarians who continue to exhibit a clear lack of knowledge or understanding of the very laws that they are elected to write.
Seymour Panton back then said that they were concerned that parliamentarians who sits in our parliament and draft up legislation are not aware of the very same legislation that they drafted up. What can go so? Big up Junior Neville. Junior says, JLP don't even clear if today is Tuesday. Mighty God. At one point we heard even Delroy Chuck saying that the Integrity Commission must be ordered to certify Prime Minister Andrew Holness's statutory declaration that cannot be certified when they know that he has not fully given all the necessary information that the Integrity Commission needs. So how can the Integrity Commission certify his statutory declaration, or who gives them that authority to order the Integrity Commission to certify Andrew Holness's statutory declaration? But Seymour Panton back then responded, and here's what he said.
As regards some other statements made in this room about giving orders, the Commission takes orders from no one other than the court, and it needs to be understood. The Commission takes orders from no one other than the court. Of course, there is God-given orders which we all obey. And I hope, Mr. Chairman, that the persons who were making those statements, that they will desist, because it fuels, such statements fuel a sort of mood among sycophants, and in the kind of society in which we live, we need to understand that persons should be very careful of what they say.
So when you hear it right there, sir, and we seeing the new chairperson reiterating that the IC takes no orders from no one other than the courts. And when we see the parliamentarians and behaving in that manner, wanting to order the IC to certify the leader uncertified statutory declaration that is outstanding of vital information that they need. When we see them behave like that, what are they saying to their supporters? Panton refers to them as sycophants. So when they are talking and beating up them chef and behaving as if they want to order the IC, them rile up them supporters, and hence we're seeing them trying to politicize the IC as much as possible. Might I add that the former chairman also reminds them that whatever is sent out from the Integrity Commission are facts.
So I trust that folks will realize that the reports that we send from the Integrity Commission, they are reports of facts. There are factual statements in the reports. Of course, there are recommendations attached to the reports which the law allows. The law says that the Director of Investigation may make recommendations. The recommendations that are made, the Parliament need not follow them. In fact, the Parliament in Jamaica has a history of recommendations being made by people who make reports, Commission of Inquiry, and the recommendations are ignored. So we understand that, and we should not really have a situation where we are being pilloried for doing what the legislation allows.
What the legislation allows. And once there's a body that writes report, then that body has the right to recommend to a greater entity who can dive deeper. Hence, we've seen the Prime Minister being referred to the FID and the TAJ. But we also seen the very same Prime Minister who is uncertified for so many years, according to the Integrity Commission's report, is under investigation for illicit enrichment. Goes to the court wanting 28 accounts he went to the court with. 28 complaints wanting the illicit enrichment law to be striked out. My God. And constantly we're seeing them going down this line with the Integrity Commission. So I'm wondering now, we're seeing where they have basically become the enemy to the ICR. At that point in time, the IC had become an enemy to them because the IC have been bringing out the facts. So, is it safe to say that sooner than later, this new change of leadership in the IC will receive the same fate as the former leadership of the Integrity Commission? We're seeing that Mrs. Carol Lawrence Beswick, the new IC chairwoman, is about the laws. And as a good friend of mine stated before, that not all of them will be bought or sold out. Not all of them will put their reputation over politics. And so you have some of us who we are mindful of our character, we are mindful of our reputation, and we are not gonna allow anyone or anything to water down that. Big up yourself, Sharon. Big up to Debbie Jervis. Big up to Daisy Magazine, Barbara Finley, Pat Brown, Monica Hall, Wayne Evans, everybody that's in the live chat. Big up on yourself, everybody on the live. Big up on yourself. Now, we've seen opposition spokesperson on foreign affairs, Angela Brownberg, chime in on this whole matter as well. And she was basically saying that if one is qualified for a post, we shouldn't allow the government and them witch hunt to come against qualified persons offering themselves for public services or public posts. Because other than the gentleman being friends with Nathan Campbell, they have nothing else to say. He is qualified, he is fit for the post. And as I stated, they cannot stop anyone from being friends with anyone. We can't stop people from having friends. And so what they're coming with has no weight, has no merit. And the IC chairperson has hit them with the law. So I want y'all to hear from Angela Brownberg.
The People's National Party strongly condemns political witch hunts launched against qualified Jamaicans who offer themselves for public service. The JNP's objection to an Integrity Commission appointment based solely on a past social association is an example of this, and it is reckless, hypocritical, and without merit. The notion that a friendship at university or merely attending a wedding should be grounds to question someone's suitability for a national appointment is both illogical and a vulgar display of political intimidation by a government more interested in persecution than principle. This kind of behavior only discourages many decent and capable Jamaicans from participating in public life. Without a shred of evidence, the JLP's intent on castigating a professional in the public space, undermining independent institutions, and weaponizing mere personal substitutions. It is a dangerous approach that corrodes trust in the public service and undermines national participation by those best to serve. The JLP's hypocrisy is glaring. The Prime Minister's wife serves as Speaker of the House while presiding over matters related to the Integrity Commission. His business partner chairs the Urban Development Corporation and the Housing Agency of Jamaica. Matters.
Remind them again, Angela Brown-Burke. Let me run that back a little bit.
Their personal substitution. It is a dangerous approach that corrodes trust in the public service and undermines national participation by those best to serve. The JLP's hypocrisy is glaring. The Prime Minister's wife serves as Speaker of the House while presiding over matters related to the Integrity Commission. His business partner chairs the Urban Development Corporation and the Housing Agency of Jamaica. Matthew Samuda is married to Natalie Chin, who serves as the Deputy Managing Director of the Jamaica Observer. None of these relationships have raised objections by the JLP. The message being sent by the JLP, therefore, is dangerous and undemocratic. Mere association with someone from an opposing party can impair your career advancement and cost you your opportunity to serve. The PNP rejects the toxic and retaliatory politics being practiced by the JLP. We will continue to defend the right of qualified Jamaicans to serve their country without fear, intimidation, or political interference.
Exactly so. Might I add that it was under this very same government who passed the bill to have the Integrity Commission work as the watchdog body to fight corruption at all costs. This government did that.
And as such will function under its general oversight. And I don't want to be giving conflicting views. It is a commission of parliament, but it is still independent. It is independent, like all the other commissions which have to be attached to some form of state authority. But the parliament cannot interfere in or direct the commission as to what to do. In the similar way that there are other independent commissions which are attached to parliament.
Remember also that when they passed that bill in 2017, prior to that and even up to 2019, I believe, it was the very same Prime Minister who was lauding, or who has been lauding, the Integrity Commission, giving them praises. He even warned at one point that the opposition leave the Integrity Commission alone. He spoke openly, he spoke publicly about corruption, and until it was learned or understood by him that he was under the microscope, he became like a beast against the Integrity Commission, saying that he's been targeted. But we are run back some tape right here, so forgive you know understanding where I'm coming from. This very same Prime Minister who has taken our Integrity Commission to court, want to strike out illicit enrichment, was praising the Integrity Commission back then. But now, it's like a war.
Jamaicans, I want you all to hear this.
US Cable had said that Mr. Powell seems to essentially get away because he has managed to successfully forge alliances with his political superiors. Do you agree with that?
Well, they have analyzed it correctly. As I said before, the Prime Minister is complicit in this. She has taken no action that would suggest that the Minister could not make such future mistakes. He's still a member of her cabinet.
What's the opposition going to do about this further?
What? The opposition is very strident against this. And, you know, those questions, what will the opposition do? The opposition can't unappoint the minister. The real question is, what is the government going to do about this? It is in discretion. I am adding pressure right now as I speak to you. We have written to the Prime Minister to make known our concerns. It is the Prime Minister who must act. And my job is to stimulate public opinion as well. So that the public is not misguided by opinion leaders who seem to be very comfortable with the low standard of governance that is being offered by this government.
What if the Prime Minister does nothing else? Doesn't ask for his resignation or anything?
It reflects the kind of Prime Minister that we have. And the country must decide if we're comfortable with that.
Had you been Prime Minister, what would
my actions would be clear. My actions would be clear and decisive. And I make no bones about that. I believe in a very high standard of governance. He would not be a minister today.
His apology to the Contractor General, saying that if he had said anything that could be construed as a lack of respect for the Contractor General's office, he withdraws those statements and apologizes. What do you make of that?
You know, there are some lines that ministerially you don't cross. And apologies are not good enough to fix them when you have crossed them. He did that with the Contractor General. It shows a mind that does not respect the limits of his authority. And that's dangerous in a minister. And for a Prime Minister to accept that is to place the public's interest in peril as well.
Dr. Vincent Lawrence is now going to be heading that energy enterprise team.
Y'all heard that? And I want to point out the part where he said some lines. So even at that time, Paul Well and whosoever was in conflict right there, apologize. He said some lines you do not cross. And sorry doesn't make it right. He said when you're in a ministerial post, there's some lines that you don't cross. So why, when the people of the country express their disgruntledness at some of the things that are being done out there by ministers of this government, including you, Prime Minister, not even as far as to come say sorry. No accountability, no integrity. They still cannot, or they still have not signed the Integrity Code of Conduct. Do they truly want to get rid of corruption? After 10 years, they still have not signed the Integrity Code of Conduct.
Brittany was here from CVM. Just to follow up to that, Minister, can the Prime Minister effectively lead when his name has been linked to so many adverse IC findings?
I think the Prime Minister can definitely lead, and if you see what is happening, he is leading. He's leading our country very well.
Leading what country very well? He shouldn't be leading. Daisy Magazine says, why is Andrew Ole still there given his corrupt actions? 28 bank accounts under investigation for illicit enrichment, uncertified statutory declaration 4 years and counting. Millions, hundreds of millions been passed through accounts, through companies affiliated with his name. He has not given the Integrity Commission information as to why or how he came about all of those funds. What can he lead? What is he really leading? He started 3 businesses in the height of a pandemic. He called a general election in the height of a pandemic. He has not delivered on many of his promises that he said that he would have delivered on. He still doesn't want to put impeachment into our constitution reform. What is this minister even speaking about? But then again, as I stated, if they don't see anything wrong with his action, him not see nothing wrong with his action. And him have 40 of them who support the slackness and all of the corruption that is going on around them. They're supporting it. Listen to what this woman is saying right here, so.
Just a follow-up to that, Minister. Can the Prime Minister effectively lead when his name has been linked to so many adverse IC findings?
I think the Prime Minister can definitely lead, and if you see what is happening, he is leading. He's leading our country very well. As I started this post-cabinet press briefing, I spoke about our unemployment rate at record low. When we got to 5%, I thought it was record, and we weren't going to go any lower. Then we went to 4%. Then we went to 3%, 3.6% unemployment. That is unheard of in Jamaica. And all of these things that we've seen where we're lauded around.
So while she's praising unemployment, she's not talking about the poverty rate. She didn't speak on the how much percent of people in our country can afford. She did not speak about the how much percent increase where them get. The Prime Minister opened an account $0.00. Where else in the world can you go or could have gone and open an account with $0.00? And she's standing up there in the press briefing telling us that he's leading well. What is he leading well? The 28 bank accounts?
World for, especially in terms of our economy. That was all done under the leadership of the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness. He is the one that has led us through COVID and led us beautifully through COVID. He is the one that has been steering us in terms of relooking the way we do infrastructure. When we look around our country, it looks completely different. If you ask any visitor who has not been to Jamaica for a while, how they feel about Jamaica when they come here, they say it looks like a very different place, and it is a good thing. And that has been led, all of that has been led by our Prime Minister. And so this is an individual who has given his life to really supporting Jamaica in our dream of becoming a country that is seen as meeting its potential. That's what he has done. And so you may ask me, how do I feel about this? I personally feel really bad about what is happening. And I tell you why. Because I see someone who is working really hard for our country, and who I see his reputation being tarnished month after month after month.
Who is tarnishing his reputation? Who is tarnishing the Prime Minister's reputation?
And what does he do? He gets up every day and he holds all of us in cabinet accountable. He tells us we're not doing enough. You have to do more. And Minister Williams is here and she knows it. He keeps pushing us. Our country needs you to do more. And so this is someone who I admire, and this is someone who I would love to see more leaders like this in our country going forward. Leaders who are thinking big, leaders who, in spite of any challenges, whether it's personal challenges to them or challenges to our country like a pandemic, get up and lead us well. And he has been doing that in spite of everything that has been thrown at him. And that says a lot about him and about his commitment to our country.
She never get the big increase in vain. You know, see, she put her neck on the block for Anjolness. She put everything where she have a while ago on the block for Anjolness. My God. But ABR family, with all that being said, big up yourself out of many. Big up yourself, Rosalie Ricketts, Kevon, Fairclaw, big up yourself. I would love to hear from y'all ABR family. The call-in number, the phone line open right now. The number is 954-288-6467. WhatsApp only. I take about 3 or 4 calls. And then I try to wrap up this live here. But what do y'all think of the response? Such a rapid response from the Integrity Commission as to, you know, the government raising friendship concern of the new acting director of corruption prosecution assigned to the Integrity Commission. The only basis that they raise that concern is due to the fact that he has been a childhood friend or a college friend with Dr. Dayton Campbell. What do y'all think of the Integrity Commission chairperson reminding them of the law and telling them to bring the evidence of what they want her to probe? Come with the evidence. There's a whole lot of what we would deem as conflict on their side, and they have not raised any issue to that. Angela Brown-Burke has raised them in the immediate release from the People's National Party. We talk about the Prime Minister and his wife being at the helm of our leadership. Blessed morning, my caller. How you doing? You're live on the ABR show. What's your take?
Morning to you and everyone. Yes, with what you read here now, I feel very comfortable. I feel more relaxed. I feel relief. Because in the time of need now, with this depression in our place, Master God send someone at our rescue. And we must say, thank God for that, with that integrity lady there. Yeah. Right? She's doing the truth, and the truth, what she's doing is God truth.
So right? You're saying you're having faith in this new leadership of the Integrity Commission.
Oh my God, I feel so relief. I'm telling you. And I would even imagine just myself with others who is in this type of depression, with this thing where the man want to take over the place with this film one man law. You know? And Master God send the person just in time, right on time. And she let it declare very much to them. Say, in a way, them say them a take no argument from the court.
Yes, man.
Right from the court straight. So therefore, what them having for their mind to tell them need not to mention. Keep it to themselves.
Definitely.
And make their law take the course.
That is it.
So therefore, those in and out and going around and come off a branch and saying this and saying that, it does not have no value at all. There is no instruction from them, only from the court.
All right now.
Because what the people then do not understand is that 10 years behind time, you know how much we lose? You know the amount of fix of the country we fix 10 years we lose? No college, no school, nothing built at all. We are far behind time. And I think we elaborate over those foolishness when we should put the country forward and doing what we have to do to develop the place, because the picnic them have been born in every day. So therefore, the country need to fix the place to accommodate our living to the high standard. And those people is in reverse every day. It is annoying. And what they're trying to do, they are trying to circle the places for them people to keep for them business where they want to keep the man law. And have we behind time. I'm wondering to myself, what is the history for this 10 years? For the picnic them who have sense to come up in a college and all of them something there. What am I putting at the picnic? What kind of history are you going to write? Tell me, for this 10 years.
Blaming the PNP.
Pure disaster?
I'm blaming the PNP.
God almighty. But anyway, with Dayton here now and Dayton Fremont to come in, what about that? Everybody who work in there, they are Jamaicans? It is Jamaicans.
Yeah.
And people with integrity.
All right.
So therefore, you cannot label a person for the person is qualified for the thing.
All right, now.
Regardless of friend, yes or no. Your job is a job. Because although it's Dayton friend, if Dayton go in there and do things, the friend going to hold him accountable too.
Most definitely. So and we are going to hold them accountable. All right.
Is the integrity of the people. So quite likely, why they are so troubled is because they have it in their mind with the correspondent with freedom friend with them have in there, so then think that everybody is the same thing.
Yes.
But you cannot prove a person until when you get the result from the person that definitely they are the evidence from the person that they are going the wrong way. You cannot label a person. Because not everybody gonna take up the nonsense and spoil up their reputation.
Thank you very
much.
So
allow the people them. Because well, if I don't speak when they take up and put in a freedom place, we going nowhere. They're struggling and stifling the place. And they need to go one side. They have nothing about them towards humanity. They must go one side, stay one side. Allow the educated people them to move our country forward.
Definitely
and
so.
And we're tired of them. And they need to know, say, when they raise up a point, and the point is not valid, not no sense, do not derail the thing and keep us behind time. They must go.
All right, now.
Please and thank you.
Thank you, Miss Sis. Thank you for calling. Bless up yourself. Have a good day.
All the best. Thank you. Thank you.
Leave the qualified people them to move the country forward. That's the message from that caller right there, so. Blessed morning, my family. You're live on the ABR show. What's your take on all of this?
Hi, ABR. How are you doing? And to everybody in the chat, a blessed Tuesday morning. Okay, a few things. You know, there's a video to hold Andrew accountable. Every time he opens his mouth to speak, one just has to look for his videos and show it to him and say, but this is what you said.
Yes.
When it comes to the Integrity Commission, the framework was drafted by the PNP, led by Mark Golding when he was Justice Minister.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with him implementing it. However, I don't think he expected that they would have used the same framework to hold him accountable.
My God.
He was only operating on the premise that they would use it to hold up the opposition and their affiliates accountable. That's one. Remember what he did to Richard Azan?
Yes.
When Richard Azan built 6 stalls in Spalding Market.
Out of his pocket.
Because what happened, the bureaucracy was taking too long. He didn't steal the money. And
Yeah.
he worked with a businessman to go around the bureaucracy. So you would have thought that Andrew would have now come and made it easier for people to get benefits, the people in the market who need stuff. You think you'd have come and changed that to address that particular situation that caused Portia to fire Richard Azan, but he didn't do that. So clearly, it wasn't that Richard Azan did anything wrong. It was just pure politics.
Definitely.
And you have to use that to measure Andrew Hollis and say, okay, so you have a problem with him building 6 stalls for the poor people.
And might I add,
have a problem with your members, yes.
Might I add 6 stars out of his own pocket?
Exactly.
Out-time
but
own
he has
pocket.
a problem with that, but not a problem with himself and his friends enriching themselves on the backs of taxpayers. As it relates to the IC, I am really glad because everybody, was waiting with bated breath to see how this new IC chair would operate. But clearly she's seeing what everybody else is seeing, and she's reading the room very well to say corruption is Jamaica's biggest scourge. It's not that corruption is new to Jamaica. It's the worst it has ever
That is true.
Where you have a prime minister, you have his wife, you have members of parliament who people can see that they got wealthy on the backs of the taxpayers, of poor people. When you look at Beverly Regional Hospital, as Lonesome call it, from $2 billion to $22 billion, you know how many new hospitals they could have built and outfitted with every machine that you need to run a hospital, with hundreds of beds, with nurses paid and doctors paid. You know how many hospitals they could have built with that same money?
Nobody held accountable.
9 years. How many schools has Andrew Holness built as a prime minister?
0.
Thank you very much. Yet he gets on these platforms and he beats his chest and he says PNP's lying and everything PNP lie. But do you realize that everything he's done is on the foundation of PNP administration?
Thank you very much. Remind him there.
The current economic what you call it now that he's operating on, what you call it, the correct economic model that they have to pay their bills. It was put in place by this whole structure was worked out by a PNP administration, which included Mark Golding, who was Justice Minister, who helped to draft the legislation.
Yes.
To make sure that Jamaica does not go back to what happened with Bruce Golding and even Saga when they did not pay their bills.
Yes.
Okay? That is one thing. And another thing about the IC is not accountable to the government, The IC is accountable to the Jamaican people.
Thank you.
They're being paid by taxpayers.
Thank you.
So they don't have to kowtow to what any politician in parliament says. What they need to do is give them more funds to do what they need to do.
Thank you very much.
So Miss Beswick and the IC, they have the full support of Jamaicans locally and internationally.
Yes.
To do their jobs
without fear or favor.
All of them accountable.
Hold everybody
without
accountable.
Favor, because go back to what Andrew Holness said about Philip Paul and sorry is not enough and all of that. Is he using the same standards to measure himself?
I doubt
because
it.
If he is, he would not be there. Neither would the persons who are under investigation for illicit enrichment, my sister.
That is it. True.
So you see, the man it's do as I say, but not
don't
as
do
I
as
do.
I
What
do.
kind of example is he setting for the young people?
None at all.
Yet he's the first one to come and say 15 years and this time we're gonna block you up and no infrastructure for the young people. And when the JC, just everything in one, when the JCF attacks the JFJ, they have shown their hands.
Yes, man. Big time.
Because you cannot call an organization like the JFJ a terrorist organization. Basically, that is now going into the territory of the JCF being in bed with the government, which means you're saying what is Andrew is now an authoritarian leader?
Yes.
Because that is what corrupt countries do. And for her to say that she's not addressing the issues at the core of the problem.
Yeah,
163% unaliving of Jamaicans, extrajudicial killing. What is the reason for that? When you have a prime minister and a minister of national security say, yes, the JCF must just kill the citizens, abuse the citizens,
judge or maker,
we're going to protect them no matter what. Me to judge or me to maker. Shoot first and ask questions later. When they're not putting in the infrastructure, when they're the biggest producers of crime. You know what? Let them do that. Let them do that to one uptown child. And you see how quick the JCF changed their tune and changed their perspective. They're saying that you cannot use body-worn cameras and run and do something. That is not true. Look in any other country, United States, in Canada, in England, wherever, they wear body-worn cameras under every circumstance. Because they can use it to facilitate their investigation to either convict them or exonerate them. So when they do that, they are justifying their crime actions. Because if they were true to the Jamaican people, they really cared about them, they would be the first to say, yes, let's make, because they got money for body worn cameras, you know. They got money for all these cars, these police cars. Where are those things? They don't have those things, and there's nobody being held accountable.
True.
So we are in this situation because there's a government who doesn't respect the Jamaican people, and the Jamaican people who they are saying they must kill them and ask questions later, they want those same people to vote them into office.
Yeah. Make it make sense.
And if you go back to the IC report that came out last year, they have insulated themselves. The language that is to insulate themselves against the Jamaican people. There's nothing to protect the people's rights, but everything to make sure that nobody can hold them accountable. ABR, this cannot continue.
Not at all.
If he continues like this, there's no Jamaica. It's going to be worse than Haiti. And it is sad to say so, but we all have to stand up and make our voices be heard and speak out, because he inherited a country that was doing well.
Yes.
He inherited a social structure that was elevating the people. And it's high time he acknowledges the People's National Party's contribution to the welfare and development of the Jamaican society, because it's not Edward Seagan, it is not the JFP. Because if you follow them, we would still be eating saltfish and not be educated.
Mighty
God bless. Thank you for your time. I much appreciate it.
Thank you so much, my sister.
No worries, my darling.
Blessings.
All right. Blessings every time. Yeah, man. Cool.
Well said by our sister right there. Well said. I cannot take off anything from what she said there, so. Well said. They don't respect us. Blessed morning, my sis. You're live on the ABR show.
Good morning.
Yes, Mrs. Go ahead.
I just love your program, and I'm just asking God to give you strength and blessing so that you can continue to educate the Jamaican people.
Thank you so much.
I hope he gives you a long, long life and a fighting spirit to take care of our Jamaican people.
Amen.
Yesterday morning, I think I called you.
Yes.
And there is something that I left off in regards to that woman who was calling the JFJ terrorists. These people probably are in the dictatorship. And I just want to say one thing, and I'm going to come off the phone.
Go ahead.
To the mothers out there, again, whose children are being murdered and taken into custody. I saw them dragging this guy after they slapped him down. Must be in St. Thomas or one of those parishes. I'm wondering if these people are going to get up and go put a vote this party and put them back in after your children have been murdered. These are the people who have, like funeral homes. They have all sorts of things. One of my friends told me about 2 years ago that the police, when you have a relative die, the police have to come and they decide which funeral home the body goes to. This is ridiculous. So the mothers out there, your children are being mowed down, shot in cold blood. Even if they have done something wrong, they need to be taken before the court. Can't have their day in court. Why are they being murdered and their bodies dragged? I didn't know that. All my years, I didn't know that you could kill somebody and just lift up the body. What happened to the coroner coming to the crime scene? And the inspectors and whoever are to, the detectives and whoever are to investigate the case. So the police have all the rights in their hand. They just kill, and it's like a dead lizard or a dead rat. You just take him, fling him up in the back of oh my God. These women who bore these kids, they went into labor and they felt pain to have their children, and you just treat them like a piece of old board in the back of a truck. No, this country needs to be reformed. We have to do something. This is not nice.
We need a reset.
No matter how bad these kids are, they're still somebody's relative.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't need to be treated like, where did they get these kind of police from?
Mm-mm.
I watched the video again last night with this woman calling the JFJ terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Because we speak up for our children and speak up for our brothers and sisters. I'm not a part of the JFJ, but I am like an activist in my own right, and I don't like to see when corruption is blatant in my face, so I talk up against it. And if I have to talk up about brutality of my fellow Jamaicans, who the hell is going to call me a terrorist?
Yeah. Who should, in their right mind, call you a terrorist if you're speaking up for others?
Jesus Christ, I can't. Thank you for listening to me. I'm not going to stay long, but this man, I think he has done his time and he is now confused, not knowing what to do. But I would warn the leader and the opposition members, be wary of what they're planning, because I think they need to have international observers on the floor, on the ground. So they need to have, when the election is called, they should start seeking out international observers from now, because they're going to dump like what would you call it now? Maybe give them a couple weeks. So try setting their house. The opposition need to set their house in order. I do not like dictators, and these people are evil serpents, and I don't care. I'm calling them that. They're evil. For you to be treating people like that. And Sunday night, I think he was down in Westmoreland telling people with a message, oh, they are not to be fussing against each other, and they should, because now you know that the world is watching you. Anyway, Miss Rose, I'm not going to say much. Just God is in control, and he has the battle. And all we need to do is pray and watch out for our people.
All right. Thank you, my sis. Thank you for calling. Thanks for your input.
Have a blessed day.
Yes. So our next caller right there is speaking about prayer, and prayer changes things. Blessed morning, my sis. Miss Winnie, how you doing?
Good morning, dear. I'm not so
You're
well at the
live.
moment. You know, I still got to come and support you. I want to ask, in the IC, does anyone in there is friendly with the JLP?
We should take it that, but we shouldn't try to dictate people's friends.
No, ma'am. What I want to know, there's a man that said he's friendly with Dayton Campbell. Does anyone of the gentlemen or ladies are friendly with any of the JLP politicians?
What most?
So why are they complaining about a gentleman that was a school friend of Dayton Campbell? Something is not right with those people head.
Talk to them, Miss Winnie.
You can have friends with anyone, but when it comes to doing your job, you got to be professional and doing your job. You got to put friendship one side and do your job. It's just like a judge. You know, I know, you got to able to do the right thing. You cannot sell out yourself or your dignity for someone you know. But Andrew want to be, everyone got to be put in the JLP. Nobody must be friends with no one. What can go so though?
What can go so?
Well, I pray to God this lady will do her job. Just don't give us, let's keep her, that I am giving her 50% right now. I want to see what she do going on.
Going forward. Okay.
Going forward, yes. Thank you. I want to see what she's going to do. I hope she don't sell out herself for Andrew, because Andrew is going down to hell. It's not normal. You see, with Andrew, he get a chance. And from he was the Minister of Education, he see that he could thief money.
My God.
And he get to be I get to be a prime minister and he thieving more. What you talking about? You call it people, the labor. When you say you're working and it's 3%, what do you call it? Look, washing cars, they put that down as employment.
Yeah.
Someone go and do a day work, washing people clothes, they put that down to job. What job? What do people then that clean the cars and clean someone else?
Minimum wage you're talking.
Yes, they can do it. Because you go and work for somebody for the week and you can't get your pay, you have to wait till next week for them to give you something. People cannot send their children to school for 5 days a week. And you must look at that.
Definitely.
You only send your child to school maybe 2 or 3 days a week. And that one, they might, the split code. You go to school early morning, you come home and you give your brother or the sister the shoes to wear in the evening, the afternoon school.
My God.
They cannot go to school in their own clothes, especially if they're nearly the same age. I don't know. I think Andrew need to go and lock himself in some dark room and wait there for 20 years to come out. I wonder, he got 2 sons, isn't he?
Yeah.
I wonder if, God forbid, the police should accidentally take one life, what would he do?
My God.
Well, Chin got him, that Chinaman, he got children?
Yeah.
No, they can't have children, man.
They all have children, yeah.
And then you want somebody else's child to lose their life? And your child is doing exactly what the other child were doing?
Sad.
I'm telling you, though, one day, it got to come to an end.
Only the good salvation lasts forever.
But you see, the trouble is, the mothers that lost their children in the 9 years or the 20, they all should get together with each other and go and demonstrate at Parliament. They shouldn't be relying on coming on the TV and talk and it done next week. It done the same day. Get together as mothers.
Them can't go to Parliament, them are going to lock them up.
Well, you can't go near. But what I want to say, I cannot say. God knows, I cannot say it. What I would like to say, I cannot say. Until one of them politicians feel what it is like to lose a child by police hand, they would change the law. They would change it. It's all right, your child can have 24 protection for the rest of their life because they're a millionaire now.
Yep.
But the world ain't level here.
That is it.
The world ain't level. Thank you very much here.
Thank you, Miss Winnie. Thank you for calling
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. I'm taking one more call. I have to run out in a few. But to everybody who joining the live, remember to leave a like on the live. I'm taking one more call. Anybody else want to share their input? Big up yourself, Sis Pat W. Cooking with Elaine. Big up on yourself. Everybody will join the live. Big up every time. We are reverse this. We want them out of our parliament. We want them out of government. We are willing to pass the baton on to the People's National Party to fix what this government has wrecked. The people are through with this government. No integrity, no accountability, lies, going back in the past of how many decades and years ago. We have had enough. Our infrastructure gone down to ground zero. Our healthcare system, we have been on a level 3 travel advisory from the US, and the list goes on and on. We have the leader of our country under investigation for illicit enrichment, along with 7 other parliamentarians. The time has come for change. The time has come for the people to, decide if they want to continue with the corruption, the high levels of corruption, or they want to give the integrity boss, Mark Jefferson Golding, the opportunity to lead our country and to make the necessary steps and implement them that will benefit not some, but all Jamaicans. Blessed morning, my caller. How you doing? You're live on the ABR show.
Good morning, Miss Rose. I won't be lying. Me have to give my little piece.
Most definitely.
Good morning, each and everyone. Yeah, me always there work. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
My point is, Andrew Holness and in administration them to lift up out of parliament and leg of the country because they are evilers. I was reading something, I don't know how true it is, that the House Speaker, I don't know if she summons the ECJ. You understand what I mean? To come there. Hell no. Who these people think they are? You understand what I mean? Well, if they do not want that gentleman in the IC, well, his wife must go because she's a Speaker of the House. She's a conflict of interest. You understand what I mean? And she's covering up a lot of things. You saw these people hypocritical?
Very much so.
You saw the hypocritical and act like they have some bullies and they feel like Jamaica is afraid of them. You notice how they operate in government and leadership. These people shouldn't even be changing our constitution or even touch it, period, because they all in there are corrupt. They are corrupt. They don't want a better Jamaica. They don't. If they want a better Jamaica, they won't be protecting this Prime Minister. They seem like they're protecting each other, and because he's a thief, he don't care if they want a thief to give them the license to thief too. So them can't talk to no one another. You understand what I mean? Them for live up half of the country and leg of Jamaica. They are acting like Jamaica belongs to them. Andrew Holness and his wife acting like they own Jamaica. And that's what they want to do. They want to hold on to the country. Because when I hear Andrew say, in the meeting, I was listening to them, that him have a good mind, push the country in a republic. He must say all time mind. Because Mark Golding has stopped the progress of the Constitution. Can you believe that?
My gosh.
Everything in blame Mark Golding. Mark Golding not do nothing wrong. You think him to put in the IC for him. He put in the IC for all the PNP them and it backfire upon him.
Whoa, ball out Jamaica.
It backfire upon him. Yes, it backfire upon him. And I love this lady. Him think everybody corrupt and they can corrupt everybody like how they corrupt the DPP. Well, if it so be the case of DPP to leave immediately too. I wonder if you see the bias and the biasness with these people. I wonder if you see, they think people are stupid.
Yeah.
And the bully behavior they have. These behavior are dictatorship behavior.
Yeah.
That's why I tell everybody, I don't like this. God forgive me for saying all of that, but I don't like the man. I don't like him because he's not a fair person. Because I am 66 and I have been in politics for a long time. I worked for PNP every year when I was in Jamaica. Yes, what I mean? And I have never seen no Labour government act like him. Saga was bad, but Andrew worse. Have a blessed day, my sister.
My sister. Thanks for your input. Big up yourself.
All right, then.
Have a good day. I'm gonna call back this person who was calling me. So this is the last call that I'm gonna... Bless up, my brother. I've seen you been calling me. You give me a whole lot of missed calls. This is the last call I'm taking. I want to hear what you're saying.
Just making a contribution to your program.
Go ahead.
As it relates to they objecting the acting appointment of the IC guy, right? I think Andrew is of the view that people friends are like his friends.
My God.
When you look at Ruel Reid, when you look at Patrick Bailey, business partner and friend. When you look at Harold Brady, business partner and friend. Either they are corrupt or disbarred.
My God. Talk up, my brother.
Don't think everybody friends are like your friends. So I think that's where he's coming from. And another thing too,
I like how you put it. Very solid point right there.
No, not everybody friends are like your friends.
True.
And when you were Minister of Education, you gave your friend contract and you were found guilty and the statute of limitation let you go.
Yes.
You were guilty
Them
as
said
charged.
time run out.
And they said time run out. So don't come to us with that crap.
Definitely.
Don't come to
the
us
man
with
is
that
qualified to work. Give the man a fair shot and let the man do his work. Him associates and him friend them that have nothing to do with him professionalism.
That is it.
All right.
You have a blessed day, man.
All right, thank you, my brother.
Program.
Same to you.
Yeah,
Bless
man.
you.
All right.
All right, so that's it for the live for this morning. Big up to everybody with up on the live. Lynette Jenkins, Mabel Givens, Richard Lewis, Wayne Evans. Big up on yourself. JJ Best 21, Monica Hall. Big up on yourself. As on come out of the live, please to like and share out that one here. We want that one here to go far. We're highlighting what the IC chairwoman and that she has shown us in this beginning, that she is about the people's business and that she is on the mission to have this corrupt-free Jamaica.
Anywhere we come from, if a China, if a Jamaica, if a Haiti.
Big up yourself, my sis, again, Debbie Jervis. I was going to come out of the live, people. Please like and share out this one. Thank you so much. In the meantime, if it's laid upon you or you want to donate to the channel, you can feel free to do so. Bless the super chat, super thanks, or if you want to bless up the PayPal.
Where we come from, we say listen reverse the curse, reverse the curse, reverse the order, reverse the curse, reverse the order. Somebody say reverse the curse, reverse the order. Somebody reverse the curse.
ABR family and viewers, the orange is ripe, so we are going to juice it. Big up yourself, Lisa Wood. Big up yourself.
Reverse the order, over Jamaica. Reverse the curse, mighty God. Reverse the order. If a king's host, if a God the host, and when they come from, send him up. Every evil arrow, anywhere he come from, send him up. If a China,
ABR family, remember, at all times, the word is love.
We say listen up. Reverse the curse. Reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Somebody say reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Somebody reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Over Jamaica. Reverse the curse, mighty God. Reverse the order. If a king's host, if a God the host, if a the prime minister.
Remember, stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more update. Happy Tuesday. Big up yourself, Amanda.